So, is Bitcoin about to take off on another one of its epic bull runs? Well, a recent analysis says the answer might just be yes. And it all comes down to this really fundamental flip in how money is moving around. So today we're going to break down exactly what that means.
Okay, so check out this quote from analyst Lark Davis. Bitcoin flows just flipped, and every time this happens, the price moves. Now, he's not just talking about some small, everyday price swing here. No, he's pointing to something he calls the flip, a really big shift in the market that, if you look at history, has kicked off some major price moves.
All right, to really get the full picture here, we're going to walk through this analysis in 4 parts. First up, what is the big flip? Then, we'll dive into the charts to see what they're telling us. After that, we'll zoom out and look at the bigger economic picture. And finally, we'll see how all this could ripple out and affect the rest of the crypto market.
Okay, so what is this flip from selling to buy? I mean, what does it actually mean? Well, at its core, it's pretty simple. It's about 2 huge forces, the sellers and the buyers, and what happens when they start moving in opposite directions at the exact same time.
And this slide really lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got what's called seller exhaustion. Basically, the people who were selling have, well, they've run out of steam. The big long-term holders, the ones they call whales, they're reportedly done selling for now. And then, on the other side, you have this fresh wave of buyers coming back in, and we're talking big money, led by those major Wall Street ETFs.
And this isn't just a hunch, right? The analysis points to some serious data to back this up. I mean, look at this number. On a single day, January 2nd, the Bitcoin ETFs, those are the investment funds you can buy on regular stock exchanges, saw almost $500 million in net inflows. That's money coming in, not going out. That was a huge signal that the tide might be turning.
But wait, it gets better. It didn't stop there. The very next day, the market was open. That number jumped to nearly $700 million. Seeing 2 days in a row of such strong buying pressure, that's exactly what the source points to as a powerful sign that this momentum is for real.
So let's just sum this up real quick. The big, early sellers seem to be taking a breather, right when these huge institutional buyers are stepping up with some serious cash. And the analysis suggests this could create a really powerful feedback loop. Think about it. As prices go up, it might give corporations even more confidence to buy, which, you guessed it, pushes prices even higher.
All right, so let's move on. If the money flow is flipped, what are the charts telling us? Let's dive into the technical side of things and see what Bitcoin's potential path forward might look like.
Now, before we jump into the charts, there's one key term you got to know, the EMA, or exponential moving average. Look, don't let the name scare you. All you really need to know is that it's a special kind of trend line that traders use to quickly see which way the market is heading. It's a super important tool for the analysis we're about to look at.
So the analysis kind of lays out Bitcoin's potential journey here in 3 steps. Step 1, its current position. Right now, it's in a pretty strong spot, holding above some key short-term trend lines. Step 2 is the immediate hurdle, a resistance level where the price has struggled before. But if it can break through that, step 3 is the big one. The main target is that longer-term trend line, which the analysis puts right around that $100,000 mark.
And this brings up a really important point. A strong move up is rarely just a straight line to the moon. The analysis notes that sometimes you'll see what they call a healthy pullback. That's just a small dip where the price comes back down to test a previous level. And in an uptrend, that's often seen as a sign of strength, not something to panic about.
Okay, let's zoom out for a second. So far, we've talked about the cash flow and the technical charts. But what about the bigger economic picture? Is there some kind of macro catalyst out there that could pour fuel on this fire and support a major bull run?
To answer that, the analysis points us to this indicator, the ISM PMI. In simple terms, this thing measures the health of the U.S. manufacturing sector. If the number is above 50, things are expanding, growing. If it's below 50, things are shrinking. It's a key barometer for how the overall economy is doing.
And this is where the macro picture gets really interesting. The source points out this fascinating historical pattern. Take a look. When the U.S. manufacturing sector starts to pick up steam, when that PMI line turns up, it is historically lined up with the start of major Bitcoin bull markets. The theory is pretty simple. A growing economy means more money floating around looking for a home in assets like Bitcoin. And the analysis speculates that the next turn could be setting the stage for another one of those big cycles.
So if Bitcoin is potentially gearing up for a big move, what does that mean for everything else in the crypto world? Let's jump into our final section and see how this bullish feeling might be spreading to other cryptocurrencies. The altcoins.
Yeah, the analysis suggests that classic rising tide lifts all boats effect. When Bitcoin does well, it tends to make everyone a little more optimistic, creating what's called a risk-on attitude across the market. And that can open up some really interesting opportunities in smaller coins. We're actually about to look at a few specific trade ideas for coins like Dogecoin and Solana.
Here we go. A perfect, concrete example laid out in the analysis for Dogecoin. The strategy here is super clear. You'd enter the trade if the price breaks above that key level of 15.5 cents. The goal or price target is 18 cents, and you'd use a really tight stop loss to make sure you manage your risk. This is a classic breakout trade setup, plain and simple.
The analysis also points out a similar potential setup for Solana, again targeting that long-term trend line. But for some of the popular meme coins like Pepe, the advice is totally different. Here, the analysis actually urges caution, saying traders should probably wait for one of those healthy pullbacks we talked about, instead of just FOMOing in and chasing the price after it's already gone way up.
So when you put it all together, you've got the flip in cash flow, you've got the bullish signals on the charts, and you've got this potential macro catalyst brewing in the background. The analysis makes a pretty compelling case. And it really just leaves us with that one huge question. Is the crypto market on the verge of its next major bull run? I mean, that's the billion-dollar question that everyone in this space is asking right now. Thanks so much for tuning in.